Joining us right now is the chairman of Maruti Suzuki, Mr. R.C. Bhargava. Mr. Bhargava, big move for the automobile industry and for the consumer in general. Big relief ahead of the festive season. How do you think this is going to boost sentiments at the entry-level car segment?
Well, I think this major reform by the government is going to make not only a big difference to the automobile industry, but is going to make a big difference to the economy as a whole. Certainly, the small car segment is the big beneficiary. It will, I assume, from the 22nd of September onwards, our expectation is that we will start getting into about 10% growth a year instead of the current stagnation and decline. I believe the automobile industry, as a result, will also move away from its 1%, 2% growth and get into a 6-7% growth as a whole.
Right. So you're saying you're expecting 10% growth in FY26?
For the remaining part of 26.
Right.
The first 6 months have gone anyway.
So overall, how do you expect FY26 to finish, sir?
Well, if I take first 6 half to have zero, actually we are at a decline, then overall for the year we should get, for the small car segment, a growth of maybe between 4 and 5%.
Right. That indeed is an important point. Now, when it comes to the policy clarity, do you think the government has also now clarified the policy intent that EVs will be at one rate, 5%? Beyond that, if you have a small car, either in CNG or petrol or hybrid or any other alternate fuel, that will be taxed at 18%. Large cars, large SUVs, hybrid, alternate fuels would go in 40% bracket. Do you think the policy intent is now clear?
Very clear.
On hybrids, sir, do you feel that the cost advantage that hybrids may have had marginally earlier, for example, a large hybrid car over 1500cc had a 28% GST and a 15% cess. And maybe a large SUV or a luxury car would have had a 50% tax rate if we look at a 22% cess. Do you think that benefit has now gone?
Certainly gone, because both are going to be at the same rate.
Does this impact the sale of hybrid cars?
Not very much, because at that end of the market, Parikshit, the market is very small. You're talking of a price range of around 40-50 lakhs. It's a very small market there. So the impact, theoretically, there's an impact, but overall, in terms of volume, it's not going to make much of an impact.
Right. I would also like to ask you about the reduction in prices. We were just speaking to Mercedes-Benz, and they said they expect prices to come down for luxury cars in the range of 5 to 8%. As a veteran of the industry, sir, what is the estimate or what is the good news you could give to consumers?
Well, we expect that at the entry level, let's say the Alto level, I can't give you an exact figure, but I think the reduction in retail price for the customer will be between 8.5% and 9%.
That's an important aspect. So you believe that for entry-level cars, 8.5% to 9% to even 10% could be the price reduction?
I don't think it can become as much as 10% because the tax benefit is 10%. And there are costs like transport costs and dealers' margins and such some extra costs, which don't get into the GST calculation. So it'll always be a little bit less than 10%.
Right. What about the rest of your segments, be it sedans, be it small SUVs?
The price will all reduce in all the vehicles because the minimum in the bigger segment was 43%. That comes down to 40%. So 3% reduction in tax will translate into roughly a 1.5% change in the retail price. Some cars went up to 45%, including cess. So 5% reduction would mean roughly 2.5% reduction in retail price.
Right. So 2.5% price reduction across the portfolio.
For those which are in the 45% bracket.
Right. That indeed is an important point, sir. Is Maruti Suzuki going to ramp up production now?
We hope that the demand will increase substantially and that we will be able to increase production, yes.
Right. Now, in terms of the future portfolio for Maruti Suzuki, now that this rate rationalization exercise is over, what do you think will be the product mix that Maruti will focus on?
You know, our strength has always been the small car market. I believe that the demand for small cars is going to pick up again because there has been a suppressed demand for years. Customers have been waiting for relief. This year, the government has done a number of good things which have combined to give the customer a great feeling of optimism in the future. Whether it was the income tax relief, whether it's the repo rates reduction and therefore borrowing rate reduction, now the reduction in GST on a whole lot of household commodities, all of these are going to combine to increase his own disposable income and purchasing power. And I think the customer is going to be a very happy man because he's going to find that he can finally start buying things which he has been postponing for years.
Right. And my final question, Mr. Bhargava, you had always been lamenting, especially since COVID-19, that the bread and butter segment of the industry of Maruti Suzuki is shrinking. Does this GST reduction now come as a savior?
I think this will make a big difference in the composition, as I said, of the whole product. The market will no longer remain just be SUV driven. It will also be driven by small cars.
All right. That's an important point. Mr. Bhargava, thank you so much. Finally, any clarity that you would now seek from the government on an immediate basis? Any request for the long term?
At the moment, let's absorb what has been done. Let's make use of all the benefits which the government has given us. And I'm sure over time we'll come up with new things after that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bhargava, for joining us.
Thank you.